for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off your order. Yo, what's good guys, Venom Fire here back from the video, and today we're bringing you guys a QB draw scheme out of the gun empty bunch. QB draw has sort of taken over here as a really good running scheme in Madden 21. It's very difficult to stop without completely committing to the run. Since it's out of 5 wide, it's very easy to pass out of as well. Now I'm running this out of empty bunch. Right now I'm in the Seahawks playbook. This gun empty bunch formation is also in the Steelers and Washington playbook. But I like Seahawks just because in case he slows it down, you got a really good gun bunch behind it. That's just me personally. Again, Steelers is really the second best one in my opinion. So, empty bunch, we all know about QB draw. I ran this a couple times online. If you're playing regs, I would recommend using the Ravens or the Cardinals. If you're playing Ultimate Team, I would actually recommend just having 2 QBs in the depth chart. So having like a Vic and then a Lamar as a backup, or a Vic and a Kyler as a backup, just because your QB will get tired by running this scheme. That's the fact of the matter. So if you can rotate them in and out, that definitely is what you want to do. Otherwise, you're going to have to pass a lot more than you really would have to. So I already preset my audibles. I got Z-Spot, QB draw, Y curl, and curl flats. We'll start out with just the base QB draw, showing you guys how it works against certain formations. I'll just start out with a base nickel normal. Maybe a little bit later I'll switch to a big nickel, but again, I'm not coming out in like a 3-3-5, so sometimes people will try to run 3-3-5. Obviously, if they recognize that you are running a QB draw, they might go into a heavier set, which is what we are in right now. So just the base QB draw, you can snap the ball, run the ball all the way to the outside. Now again, something about this gun empty bunch formation is that the personnel, you will have a tight end right here. I have Mark Andrews, and then you have to have a running back here. So I could have thrown a fullback here. I could obviously throw in a Mark Ingram there, but I would just like more speed there. That's why I got J.K. Dobbins. But again, obviously, sometimes the blocks won't be perfect, but you see, look at the blocks. You see right there, we just actually took it for a touchdown. This is a huge play potential, and again, QBs in this game, they have a lot of speed. I think you get Vic to like 92 speed or something like that, so you're going to be a really electric offense. You can get to the outside, you can cut it back in. You see, just look at the blocks right there. We're getting very good blocks, and again, these aren't exactly, the best wide receivers, although it is a pretty good blocking team. Again, just really, really good run. Very difficult to stop, and again, it's not like I'm in a dollar set where there's 3 down linemen. I'm in a pretty heavy set. An ability I would recommend getting is this Truz ability that Lamar has. It's where you can't fumble, but really one thing is QBs don't fumble in this game, so I'm on balance. I'm not on conservative, and you see I probably won't fumble one time, and that's not only because of Lamar's ability, but just because QBs do not fumble in general. Vic, he is low carrying, he will not fumble. Not only can you run it to the right, but you can also run it to the left. And that's one of my favorite things to do, because a lot of times people are going to be focused on the right. They're going to be focused on the bunch in case you're passing. But really the left is always almost open. You see, look at how much space we have right there. Just an absolute ton of space to the left side. And almost it's like a bigger play guaranteed than running it to the right. Now, certain formations, this defensive end will actually run up field. So really, when you're running it to the left side, you're deciding to run it in between these left guard and left tackle, or just run it to the outside of the left tackle. So in big nickel over G, you usually want to run it around this player, but in this nickel normal, this player actually runs up field more. So you're going to want to usually cut it up there, because you see how big up or how deep he is already. You can't really go around that, or you'll get tackled in the backfield. So again, that's something. Another thing I like to do is motion Willie Snead in. And usually this is if I'm like trying to get to the outside. That's a good way to get to the outside. Again, you see, even in a play where that cornerback, I believe, that was a corner. That corner comes in unblocked on a play like that. We are still able to pick up like 7 yards. This is just a really good play. Another thing is the animations that ball carriers get this year. They get a lot of animations where they're falling forward, getting really nice push forward or reaching animations to pick up a first down. And a lot of times, even if you get like stuffed in the backfield, you can get 1 or 2 yards out of it. So you're really not losing too many yards. Again, you can cut it inside, you can cut it outside. You see, you're never going to fumble. I would recommend sliding though, because if you run into a user hit stick, obviously, and you're not unconservative or something, you can definitely fumble. So I can always slide. And again, if you're running into 3 people, you might as well slide unless you're going for the first down or something like that. Again, a couple of other motions you could do. You can motion Miles Boykin out like this. That's something I like to do just to ensure that he picks up that edge blocker. You saw other people got a block shed there, but Boykin actually did end up picking up the cornerback sometimes. Dobbins will run upfield, and then Andrews will block this guy, and Boykin will block this guy. But when you motion him out, you get it guaranteed usually for him to pick up that edge block, and you can just he'll seal the edge. Sorry about that, and you'll be able to pick up 10 plus yards. So that's pretty much it for the QB draw. You can obviously motion any player to across the field like this if you were going to run it to the left, and then you can cut it back, do whatever you want. But you see, really, there's endless ways to run this, and that's why I like the bunch. You can do a lot of different motions, and mainly just because it's more of a passing threat. So we will move on to our next play. We'll just come out in the Z spot. Z spot, relatively simple play. What I like to do is just put B on a streak, smart route A, and then really you can leave these 2 routes if you wanted. You could do whatever you want on this side, but it's a pretty good passing concept just like that. And again, if you're passing, you kind of want to mix in some of these motions so that you think, or your opponent thinks, you're running the football like this. And then I can check down to the whip route. You see from that little tight end spot, I would say it's very effective for picking up yards in the flats. Not only that, but you can always roll out and throw this corner out to flat route concept. So I can check down. I could always throw that corner out. Again, nice high-low read against zone. And against man coverage, pretty much all these routes will beat man. Obviously, a flat route won't, but the corner route, this zig route, and this little in will all beat man coverage. Again, you can check down. And the good thing is you got a running back there, so in Ultimate Team, you could throw Bo Jackson, Reggie Bush, pretty much anybody, and you can put your starting running back there. Obviously, it's 5 wide. Also out of this, you can audible to formation, so I can audible to gun bunch if I wanted, get a really good passing set, and you see just that running back's going to run back to the backfield. You can run bunch trail or whatever, and that's a good thing that I like to do, because you could even just come out, give him the threat of the QB draw, and then audible to bunch. You probably won't have him in a 1-4-6 or a 3-3-5 that he wants to be in to defend the pass. And if you're willing to audible every play, that's something I would say is worth it. Moving on, we got this wide curl, and this might be my favorite pass play out of the entire formation. It's really good against cover 2, also is really good against cover 3, and the setup I like to run is put B on a flat and RB on a drag. So it's going to go like this. You got this little wheel route with Snead, but also this is the route I kind of want to highlight with Marquise Brown. It's going to be a weird little in and up, I would say, almost like a sluggo. I believe that's what it's called. It looks like a slant and go. And this is really good against cover 2, but look at how good it gets in the seam against cover 3. And really, sometimes to stop those seam passes, people will man them up, but you can't really man that up because no one's ever going to man up that outside receiver. That's almost like a wasted route. On the flip side, you got this wheel route that's going to be pretty good against cover 3 with Andrews. That sometimes you can fit in. It's not my favorite, but you see you can get separation depending on what your opponent's doing. Obviously, if he's using that hook curl on the right, that's more of a throwable ball. And again, you have a little high-low read, I would say, between Snead and Dobbins. Another thing you can do, and this is more of a concept I like to do against cover 2, is motion Marquise Brown in like this. You will see he's still going to get separation on that cover 3, but against cover 2, he's going to run straight down the middle and open it up for you for usually a touchdown if he doesn't have a player in the middle of the field. Another thing I didn't mention is that I like to have my bunch on the wide side, as most bunch players do. You can obviously run it on the short side just to mix in some things like this. You see it's still going to work, but again, this is just more of a big play potential rather than some of the other plays. And again, sometimes it's not open. What you do, usually I'll end up just checking down to Dobbins. Jeez, the pass rush just ate me alive there. But that drag's usually going to be open. It's not the best play against man. A lot of these routes and out of wide curl aren't good against man, but people sometimes they will get away from man coverage if they are defending the QB draw, because they're going to start blitzing linebackers, spying safeties, and that's really not going to be good with a man coverage shell behind it. So moving on to our last play, we got curl flats. And again, there are a couple of other plays, Z-spot and go. You could obviously run that instead of Z-spot if you want. But curl flats, I like this play. It's just a deeper corner out. It's going to get open a little bit more. And again, you could just run it relatively stock. Just put B on a streak. You got a little curl flat behind it. Something you can do on the other side is maybe you just throw X on like a dig route or whatever. But you can roll out, really effectively throw that corner out, as Lamar Jackson doesn't really help me there. Again, out of this play, you could actually smart out A to get him in a little bit of a better spot, I would say, or at least from a rollout corner perspective. You can also open up the one play touchdown to Miles Boykin, which is something that's really good against cover 3. Make sure that if you're going for that cover 3 beater, that you are smart routing A, and then you're just putting B on a streak. And again, out of this, maybe I'm going for the one play TD. I can just block my halfback, roll out, and you see so much space over there. Really good one play TD against cover 3. Curl flat is a very underrated play. It was really good in Madden 19. Nobody really ran it last year. No one runs it this year, but in a limited bunch setting, this is a really nice play to mix in. There's really no corner out like it that pulls down the outside third so much and opens up even, Miles Boykin's a 72 overall receiver. He has no deep route running. He has no speed. He has decent speed, but you know what I mean. And again, you can always check down. That also opens up J.K. Dobbins for 10 to 15 yards on the flat. So again, you mix in certain things like that. Now, one last thing I forgot to mention out of Z-spot is just a little motion you can do. You can motion Andrews over. He's on the corner out. You smart out him, turn him into a post. Then usually what I will do is just throw B on like a slant, X on a streak. You got a little zig, you got the slant, and then you have this backside post that does get open. Geez, what was that animation? But obviously the weakness of this passing formation is blocking. If you want a way to block out of it, you want to motion seed in and just spam A, get him a little motion block, then he's going to double team over there. And then obviously you can block that RB, R1 player in J.K. Dobbins or your running back. You can block this guy. So if I wanted to max protect, maybe I was running curl flats, I would block RB, then I would throw X on like a smart routed in route, and then I would motion seed in, spam A. Now I have 7 blockers, and then I can throw the one play TD or whatever I want. So yeah, just good way to block out of it. So that's pretty much gonna do it for the video. Again, if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and peace. I'm out of here.